Hi everyone, welcome to the 12th episode of Locker Room Talks, where we discuss some interesting NHL news and events. And today we're going to discuss NHL free agency. But I want to start with Alex DeBrincat trade, because this trade is so interesting. And in my opinion, Senators lost this trade. They gave Alex DeBrincat to the Red Wings for some prospects, if I'm not mistaken, and two draft picks. I don't really think that have any sense. Senators got Dominic Kubalik, Donovan Sebrango, first round pick and the fourth round pick. But this first round pick is not clear. And to get this first round pick, the Bruins will have to get to the top 10 in next year draft to the Senators get this pick in the first round. So I want to talk about Alex DeBrincat's future, because he signed 4-year deal while he wanted to sign a long term and like 8-7 years. And in my opinion, 4-year deal is long deal as well, because there's not a 1 year, it's not a 2 year. That's 4 year, and if you will spend 4 years in one team, you will have to give something to this team, because it's not just a year where you can play and do nothing else and just go to the market once again. So DeBrincat will play in Red Wings, and I don't really think that Red Wings had to fight for him that way that they did, because I don't really think that DeBrincat fit them well, because they gave Zadina, they gave Kubalik. I don't really know who DeBrincat will play in this squad with, because in my opinion, in the offense they only have Dylan Larkin, who can really communicate on the ice with Alex DeBrincat. But that's not the point. Senators lost this trade, in my opinion, because they lost great scorer. There is no other player in the Senators squad who was better than Alex DeBrincat in scoring. Tkachuk is mixed player. Stusle is more a playmaker, in my opinion. Norris, Batherson, I don't really think that they are a superstar player. DeBrincat is a star, and he will improve scoring of Red Wings. But what about the Senators? They lost this trade, but I don't really think that they lost something, because there is some players on the market that are still have no contracts with any team. So is here a reason to pay DeBrincat like 8-9 million that he wanted, when you can pay like Tarasenko or Kane something like 4 or 5 million and be happy with that? Because in my opinion, Tarasenko is more, he's better player than Alex DeBrincat, especially in terms of experience. But there's two sides. If we look at age, obviously Alex DeBrincat is younger and he has more potential in his career, because career of Vladdy Tarasenko, in my opinion, is coming to an end, and he have to play like 3 or 4 more years, and then he will go to KHL, maybe he will retire. But Senators don't need a long term. They build their team, and in my opinion, this Senators team is ready to do something. It's ready to make in playoffs, and with some with some signings, they can maybe pretend to be a contender, but that's not this season. Maybe next season. And Senators lost this trade, but they didn't lose anything, because they can sign Tarasenko. They can sign great scorer for less money than Alex DeBrincat wanted. So what about the Red Wings? I don't really think that Red Wings will make playoffs next season, even with Alex DeBrincat, because I don't know who can he play with in this squad, and especially I don't see any great playmaker in the Red Wings squad to pass the puck for the Alex DeBrincat. So Alex DeBrincat is a Red Wing. We're coming to the free agency, and very interesting things happening to Vladimir Tarasenko, because he had some talks, some rumors with Canes and Senators. Then, after some time, when these rumors were so long and nothing happens. He changed his agents. He had two, now he has one, if I'm not mistaken, and he changed them just for better things. That's great. And with the new agents, they still talking with the Senators and Canes. That's very interesting. But the most interesting part of it is that Tarasenko wants a long term deal, like 6-7 years. Mm, I can tell you that for the skater in his age, that's not right, because he'll be like something close to 40 after this deal will end, and there is no guarantee that he will play at the same level through the whole years of this contract. But as of right now, when he can't find the team that he fits well, that he wants to play in, he wants to sign a 1 year contract, 1 year deal, just to go to the market once again next season and find something better when the cap space will go higher, and when some teams will, free their cap space, when some contracts will end. In my opinion, that's so dumb that he says that, because if I would be a GM, I don't want to sign a skater just for 1 year. There's no future, there is no sense. That could be a possible scenario of signing Tarasenko for 1 year, just if you are a contender and you have to defend cup or you have to win a cup, and there's one puzzle that is missing in your puzzle and then you sign Tarasenko for 1 year, you win a cup, and then maybe you will resign him, but not for long term, something like 3-4 years. If I'm a GM of a team that is building, like Sabres, for example, Senators, or a team that needs to rebuild, I won't sign him for 1 year, because there is no sense of it. You'll just spend 1 year without any guarantee that he will stay in your team. You will build a team around him, and then he'll leave, and there is nothing you can worry about when you sign a long term, even with the Tarasenko, who is old, for long term deals. But you can sign him maybe 4 years. He'll play, because in my opinion, in 4 years he will in the same shape and he will play the same as he's playing right now, but later he will fall in his form and his shape, and then you can trade him, but the value of Tarasenko will drop, because with age, there's no player who plays better with age, especially of some guys like Ovi, Thornton, Marlowe, and so on. So I don't really think that there is a sense of signing Tarasenko for 1 year, and if there is a team who will want to sign him for 1 year, I think this team will be fucked up later. After ending of this contract. So also I wanted to talk about Filip Zadina, one more Red Wing. Now he is a Shark. He signed for San Jose Sharks, and he was placed on waivers with the goal of contract redemption, and that's so bad, because Zadina, in my opinion, he's great, but Red Wings is just not for him. And I think that Filip Zadina will be the best player in the Sharks squad next season, because he will want his revenge, and I know that he likes to talk too much, because after the draft he told for like every team that didn't draft me earlier will pay their price because I'm not playing for them. That's dumb, but in terms of playing with the Sharks, I guess it's right, because when you play in San Jose, there is more freedom of things. You can do whatever you want, especially when you forward, especially when you win, because Sharks have great centers. Couture and Harrell. I know that Harrell can play at the wing, but in line with Zadina, I guess Harrell will play at the center, and especially just Alex Barabanov. He's a great wing. Sharks have great wingers and great offense, and Zadina will improve that. And in my opinion, he fits so well in the Sharks. And I want the Sharks to leave them in their squad, then improve defense, improve goaltending, and then we'll see a completely rebuilt Sharks team that can fight for the playoffs at least. I hope that I will see it in my age because no, I miss Great Sharks era, and I guess and I think that Philip Zadina is a first step to bring the old Sharks back. Also, Matt Duchene signed with the Stars for 1 year. It's 4 million, and as I told, I don't see any sense in signing 1 year deals. But the Stars is a contender. With Duchene, the Stars are a contender, and Duchene was really the missing piece because in the face of Pavelski, Sogin, and Ben, they have experience, but they don't have mixed experience and some great mastership that Duchene can give to them. So I think with the sign of Duchene, Stars really won because for 4 million you are getting great forward, great center, and he can do everything because Duchene has great hands, and also he can play short-handed, he can fight along the boards, he can do some dirty job like 4 third liners do. So I think Duchene is the best signing this free agency, but we don't see Tarasenko contract, we don't see Kane contract. So one more player is Pacioretty, Max Pacioretty, who signed with the Capitals for 2 million. That's great, When we compare Pacioretty to Duchene, they are almost the same in terms of playing, but with the salary 2 million for 4 million, we can see the difference. But the most important part of it is that Max Pacioretty missed last season due to injury, and that's really bad. And he told that for the first half of this season he will recover from the injury. So we see that Duchene is healthy, and Stars are paying 4 million for the whole season of Matt Duchene playing with them, and Caps playing 2 million for Max Pacioretty to play a half a season with them. We don't know how Max Pacioretty will recover because he was a great player, but after the injury we didn't see him, and that's gonna be a mystery prize for the Caps because his eyes will fuck everything around him and he will make a Caps like a cup contender once again, or he will just dead person on the bench who will do nothing. But I think that Max Pacioretty signing is one of the worst this free agency because you just given 2 million to an injured person who has no guarantee to play in your team this season. I don't really think that Caps GM is doing right things. Also, one of the interesting signings is Blake Wheeler to Rangers, and he had a contract with the Jets for 8 million. 8 million. Now he signed for $800,000 a season. This downgrade slightly surprised me because I don't really think that he thinks that he costs 800. I think that he knows his price, and when you had a contract for 8 million, maybe you may ask something for at least 1.5, at least. But Rangers gave him 8k, 800k. That's great signing for the Rangers, and I don't really think that Blake Wheeler will, play with them like Patrick Kane with the Blackhawks, but with his experience, Wheeler will bring them something. He will bring them something, definitely. So I think for 800k, you can pay this price for some experience and some great player like Blake Wheeler. So that's all I wanted to discuss with y'all. Thank you for listening.